Have you heard the term micro moments? It was coined by Dr. Barbara Fredrickson, and she spoke about it in her book Love 2.0. And it's a really interesting concept, and I liken it a bit to Ralph Waldo Emerson's micro miracles that I talked about in a previous video. I'll link it down below. Basically, when he went to Harvard Divinity School, he spoke about miracles being in the mundane, right? If we look into the natural world, we can see that there are miracles everywhere. And this was kind of a novel approach to seeing miracles, because prior to that, miracles were only sacred. They were only found in the divine, in sacred texts. And so this idea that you could see miracles in a blade of grass growing out of the ground, or the birth of a baby fawn, was really novel. And so this idea that Dr. Fredrickson put forward is very similar, and she's putting it in terms of how we as humans, as social mammals, create these connections. So we do this through small moments. When you say thank you to a barista, when you make eye contact with an individual, when you have a hug with a family member or a friend. These small moments create these bonding, these connections that we as humans really crave. And in this modern world where we're always on our phone trying to connect with other people, we are actually disconnecting with our wider world. And when we create these small micro moments, our chemistry, our biochemistry actually syncs with one another. In a shared laugh with a coworker, your heart will synchronize with the other person that you are with. Another element to this is feeling care from one another, a mutual care. And I think about this a lot when my children are looking for the items that they've lost, which is every day. If you're a parent, you know this struggle. But a lot of times it's their electronics that they've missed. And the other day they were missing their Kindle, and my first instinct is to say, you're on your own. If you can't take care of your own things, I'm not going to help you. But in those moments, they feel like they've been abandoned. They feel like that you don't care about them. And so it is important for us to remember that these moments, micro moments of mutual care, are important for creating these connections. We are investing in another person. And so although as a parent, I want to make sure that my children understand the idea of personal responsibility, I can also give an assist, right? I can say, okay, where was the last place you remember having it? And then when I told you to turn off the screen, what did you do with your Kindle? Did you set it down? Did you walk into another room with it? And I can help them think through these steps, and so that they don't feel like they've been left abandoned on their own, and that they feel cared for. They feel that you are there for them even when you are feeling frustration. Eye contact is another way that another micro moment that she highlights. And I have noticed this as a storyteller, that when I am telling stories, then if I make the effort to make contact with, I try and do it with as many people as I can, and I try and hold that contact for 3 to 5 seconds, which feels like an eternity sometimes, but it really deepens that connection. And I feel that as a storyteller and as a speaker, it helps them to connect with me on a deeper level, and it helps them to remember me because they feel seen, they feel heard. And I remember my audience better when I make those eye contact moments that sometimes feel uncomfortable. As a mom, a stay-at-home mom, I remember days where I would not have any other human interaction except for with my child. And so when I would go to the grocery store, I would have these people coming up to me, and they would be cooing over my baby, or they would compliment me. I remember one woman told me that I needed to make sure that I was keeping my purse close to me and having it zippered up because she was concerned that someone in the grocery store was going to steal my purse. And it's these moments like this, and even if I felt a little bit annoyed at the moment, but it makes you connected to the wider community, as if people care about your well-being. These micro moments are incredibly important to our sense of connection. And actually, what made me think about this idea that Dr. Fredrickson put forth is when I was talking about Mufaro's beautiful daughter, and I'll link down below the story, but basically it's a kind daughter and a mean daughter. And in the story, the kind daughter, every step of the way, she is making connections. She makes a connection with a garter snake in her garden, and she befriends it, and it becomes one of her best friends. And when they are on the path to meet the king who is looking for his newest bride, she's stopped by a boy who is hungry, and she gives him her lunch, and he thanks her, and she continues, and she meets an old woman, and the old woman gives her advice, and she takes the advice. And every step of the way, she is resonating with these individuals in a positive way. And the opposite is true of her sister, who is the mean sister, because her sister sees everything in the world as beneath her. And so she doesn't make these connections. And so she is on her own. And in the end, the kind sister is chosen to be the bride. And the mean sister is left to be her servant in her kingdom. And it's because of these connections that the kind sister was making, like, she valued even the smallest among us. I actually love the movie Enchanted with Amy Adams. It's a really old movie, but it's a funny take on Cinderella. And when she sings these songs when she's about to clean, all of these New York creatures come. And so instead of little cute mice and little blue birds like in Cinderella, it's cockroaches and rats and grackles, like the scum of New York. And at first she's kind of put off, but she appreciates and she's grateful for their help, and she sees their value. And so that is a really important element to this connection, making sure that you see value in strangers, in the wider world, in your community. And so that is what micro moments are. So what micro moments are you engaging in today to build this connection, to build your resilience, to build that connection with your wider world, and bring yourself joy? Thanks so much. I'm Vanessa Y. Rogers, speaker, storyteller, and author, and I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. Keep telling your stories. They matter.